You have 13 minutes to complete each passage for a total of 65 minutes. Each passage is about, I think, 700-800 words. You can read it comfortably in 3-4 minutes, and you have about 10 or 11 questions for each passage. There are two separate strategies that students can use. You can first read carefully the passage and then tackle the questions. I really recommend this method, particularly for the fiction, and I'll explain later why. The second method is that you quickly scan the text, maybe in 30 seconds or something, and then you go and start answering the questions. And you read the question, you go back to the text, look for evidence, answer, and keep on reading. Now, I particularly prefer the first method because I like to be, on top of the text and feel like I have a full grasp of the text with all the details before I go into the questions. And the reason for that is that on the SAT, you cannot get away without reading the details, because a lot of the faulty answers will be partially true, but then something will be off. So in my opinion, it's important to grasp the text as a whole. But some students really prefer to do the second method. And there are some advantages to that method. First of all, you don't have to remember the whole text, so you can take it one piece at a time. Second of all the questions, go in order. So for example, the first question might be on the whole text, right? The main purpose of the author, or the main topic that the author focuses on, and so on. But then the second question will be on the first paragraph. For example, the word such and such in line 11 most nearly means. And then the question after that will focus on the lines after line 11, maybe on line 15 to 20, and so on. So based on where the previous question was, you always know your current question, where you're supposed to look in the text. And because the questions go in order, it is easy to just go paragraph by paragraph. Again, I personally don't prefer this method because I don't feel in control of the text and that I might be missing some details. But I think that you should try and see which method would work for you best. I think it's a trial and error thing because students are different. It might be useful for the science text because science texts sometimes have a lot of terminology. There's many things to remember. Also for the history passage, this method can be useful because the information can be overwhelming. But for the history passage, also remember, because you have two passages, this is the only text where you have two passages. Well, sometimes it's the science one. So one of the 5 passages will be divided actually into 2. So you get the 2 different viewpoints, and there are 99% of the cases opposing, disagreeing viewpoints. So, and usually that's the history text. So when you get to that text, you read obviously the first passage, you answer the questions for the first passage, and only then you read the second passage, you answer the questions for the second passage, and then you will have some questions on both passages.